First thing you're going to see in Google Classroom is you're going to see where it says, little 18. Sorry, that's why. I was like, where is that at? 5th hour. Intro to Fusion. When you click on that, you're going to see one link there. That link will pop this up. Okay? You don't have to do all this. I'm just going to show you all now just so where it's at. You don't have to do a thing. I'll only do what I say. There's so much. So this is the very first thing we're going to teach you. It's just the interface itself. Okay? How this stuff looks, what is all this stuff, and what it does. So if I scroll down a little bit, you're going to see here. This right here is basically your library in a sense. So when I zoom out, that comes over here, and you're going to see that this little Rubik's Cube, I call it, okay, in the top left. If you click on it, yours might already be there. Yours is going to look something like this. If it's not there, you just click that back and forth, and it should work. Okay? First thing you're going to do, and please do this with me, is you're going to select New Project. And you're going to name that Engineering Design. And that is basically this whole entire class. That's the title of this class. That way you can automatically save everything you're doing. So again, you should have Fusion open. Go ahead and press Get Access. Yep. And now close that and go back into Fusion. Close that. Yep. Okay. So again, go into that little Rubik's Cube up at the top left. Rubik's Cube, right here. And then you're going to hit New Project, and you're going to call it Engineering Design. After you have that, you are going to then go to File, which is right here, File, Save. And we're going to name this one Intro to Fusion. Make sure that this little black arrow right here is your engineering design folder. Press Save. If you did it right, it will pop up right here. Yep. So we start a new project. New project's already here, right? And then what you're going to do is you're going to go to File right here. Little black piece of paper, it looks like right here. File, Save As, or Save in your case. I can't do Save As or Save. Name it Intro to Fusion. And then make sure that the folder is Engineering Design, which is what you guys have so far. That's the class. If you did it right, it'll pop up right here and say Intro to Fusion at the very top. And you're good. Okay? Everybody with me so far? Okay. If I keep going, now it says right here on here, in this little document that you guys are going to keep looking at, that's number one. That's how you do all that stuff in number one. Number two is we kind of went over that with the names and all that kind of stuff. Basically all the names. They call it an application bar and a data panel. Number three, over here in the far right, this is important to understand. When you guys are drawing in here, a lot of you are going to want to take this stuff home. Great. Go download it at home, work on it at home. Every time you walk in here, that little clock that you see up in the top right corner next to your name might have a number. If it has a number next to it, that means it needs to be updated. Every time you come in here, we will always be updated to the newest version. At home, if you don't update before, let me repeat that, if you don't update before you start drawing, and then you update after you're done drawing, it'll never open anywhere. Anywhere. Okay? You've got to make sure that you guys save first a new document before you draw anything. And then make sure your program is updated. Make sure that clock doesn't have any little numbers next to it. Like it does right now, it has no little numbers next to it. So it's updated. If I click on it, it'll just say that it's online and everything's working great. Okay? Questions or concerns on that? Please don't save stuff in older versions. It'll never open. And you'll be so frustrated that you worked hours on projects. Trust me, it's happened. So, the other thing is your name. I wouldn't mess with anything in your name. This is where you can change preferences. This is important to understand. Just like everything else, let me add another one to you. You got to sign out of Fusion. You got to sign out of Gmail. You got to log off the computer. Okay, all those things. Now you got 3 things to sign out of. The question mark. Do this with me. If you hit the question mark, and then hit Quick Setup, this will pop up. Okay? This little thing will pop up. When it pops up, A couple things we're going to change. The first thing we're going to change, yours says new to CAD, I think. Go ahead and drop that down to Tinkercad. Second from the bottom. Do not press start here, press close when you are done. Everybody with me? Okay. If I keep going and I go back to that form, now number 4. Number 4 is basically going to be your toolbar. This is everything that you're going to use tool-wise to draw stuff. Let's just call it that. Okay? If you scroll over any of these icons, it'll literally give you a preview of what that thing does. Okay? The next thing, number 5, is your browser. If you look at your browser over here on the left, you'll see a list that says Intro to Fusion, Document Settings, Named Views, and Origins right now. All we got is that. When you start making bigger designs like this, for example, my little car, my little toy car, you're going to see all of my parts, all of my bodies, all the stuff we're going to talk about later. Okay? This is where you can manage and edit objects and features within your drawing. Okay? Your next thing is going to be number 6. This is the cube. Before we mess with the cube, I want to show you something. Your mouse is a powerful tool. Now that we have that setting, first thing you can do is take your scroll wheel. You can zoom in, you can zoom out. If you hold in the scroll wheel, you can pan and move an object around. If you hold the right click, you can rotate around that object and make it literally rotate and do whatever you want with it. Okay? Let's say you get in La La Land and you do this. Where'd my car go? I have no idea. It's so dang small that I can't even see it anymore. Trust me, you'll do this on accident. Okay? If I'm completely lost, always go home. It's right here. There's a little home. Right here in the top right. That's the cube. Press that home button, and you'll go right back to where you started. Yeah, it's going to be. Trust me, we're all going to screw up because you're going to learn this zooming thing, and you're going to be like, I am so far out, I can't see my object anymore. Just go back home. The cube itself has clickable objects. You can go to the front view, and this is if you look up at my screen or the stream, you're going to see the front view, the side view, the corner view, all that kind of stuff. And you can literally just go to any kind of selected piece. That's nice if you want a straight on flush view. Okay? Just go back home just to see it. You're good to go. Okay? Cool. Number 6, we just went over. Number 7, ignore. Number 8, this is the fun stuff that you can modify. So each person is going to have their own kind of look to their fusion. I don't care what you do to this. Okay? Down here, you're going to see a little TV, you're going to see a little grid. Somebody asked originally right away. Mine doesn't have a grid, and his does. Totally fine. Click this little grid. You can do layout grid, and you can unselect that, you can deselect it, you can reselect it, you can make it grid locked, which basically locks the grid around your object. You can change how far the spacing is between it, all that stuff. It doesn't matter right now, but just know that you can do that. Go to the little TV. This is my favorite part. You can go to visual style. You can change the way that the object looks. Okay, I changed it to vision with edges. If you look up at my screen, you're going to see shaded just in regular. We can change it to wireframe with hidden edges. Whole bunch of different stuff, crazy stuff. Yeah, it's just the same. All that. Then, I'm just going to change it back to shaded with visible edges. Basically, what you're going to have inside of there after that, and again, you see the grid's kind of like on top. I don't like that. I'm going to turn the grid off. The best part, if you go to the TV again, and you go to environment, you can change it to dark sky. You can change the environment to gray room. You can change the environment to the transquilin blue. Okay, all this stuff you can change and mess with. I don't care what you guys do, but you can change it to whatever you want.
How do I make like the outside of it like the whole thing dark blue?
Dark sky.
No, like
all this white. You talking about? It's okay. All this.
I freaked out.
All this you want gray?
Yeah.
You got to do that in the settings and all that stuff. It's not gonna happen. So after we do all that environment, I'm going to go back to photo booth just so you guys can see the lighting and see how it looks. Okay? Go home. I'm at a weird angle. After that, Okay, there's also some things on here we'll go over later, but that's just how that goes. The last thing you need to see is a thing called the timeline. The timeline down here, you can see all down here. If I press play on the timeline, this will rebuild like I built the whole entire thing from scratch. Okay? You'll literally go piece by piece. Why do you think that'd be useful?
So you can see where you're at.
Okay, let's say I screw something up. I'm at the very end and I notice my tire was just a little too small or a little too big. You can then move that little black dot that you see, the little black line that you see moving as a play button right now at the bottom of the screen, to wherever you want and then edit that feature. And then go all the way back to the end and it'll fix it for everything. Okay? It's kind of like reverse in time. You can mess with things and kind of go back in time to see things. Okay? Questions or concerns on that? That is it. That's everything that you're going to be messing with. Okay? We good?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, we're going to go back into your world. Blank world. Okay? And I'm going to turn the grid on just so it makes it look like yours. I know I said a lot of firsts, but there's got to be these things that have to happen. The first thing you got to do is make sure that you've saved the document. The next thing you got to make sure you do is you got to make sure that your settings and you're signed in and all that jazz. The last thing before you start drawing, okay, is you got to make sure you start from the origin. What is the origin? 0, 0, 0 in our case, because we're in 3 dimensions. Okay?
I'm seeing it 4D.
4D, you're just that advanced. Eh? There are 3 layers to every drawing. There's sketch, there's 3D, or extrude, and then the third dimension, or the third basic realm, in a sense, is modify. You've got to have a sketch first, then you can 3D model and extrude, make things 3-dimensional. Then you can modify. Okay? Modifying is cutting in holes, making them add stuff to that object, whatever the case may be. We're going to start very simple today. Okay? So the first layer is what?
Sketch.
Let's sketch something. Sketch is, for a purpose, the very first thing that you see. So you're going to hit sketch. Go ahead and do this with me if you want. If you hit sketch first time, you'll see that there are 3 little squares that are peach, I call it color. I picked the top right one. You can pick whatever you want. Pick one of those peaches. Just pick one.
Mine's like directions.
That's because you're holding the right click. Just click one. Yep, click it. There you go. You should look like mine then. Just click one of those peaches. Doesn't matter.
There's no peach.
You're already there because you're already done. You already clicked it. Cheated. You clicked new sketch? You're already in it. You're good. How do you know you're in it or not? Look, this little tab comes up here. This little box will pop up. If that box is there, you know you're in sketch mode. If you look at the toolbar, what changed? Everything. Because you're in sketch. It says finish sketch, which means you're in sketch mode. Okay? Now we're in a different environment. We're in a whole different world. Every time you click on something in this program, you're going to enter another world. Okay? Now we're in sketch world. We're in 2D world. So what we're going to do is, just to make this easy on you, you're going to click, and we're going to go back to this little document. We're done with this stuff. We're going to build, customize or build your first project and start your design. I already made you save a project. I already made you go and make a project folder. Now it says, make a box that's 100 by 100 by 50 tall. So we're going to go back into Fusion, and we are going to first click and start from the origin. First thing I did was click rectangle. Start from the origin, click once and let go. Don't drag. Go out and you'll see it's in inches. We're screwed. We quit. We leave the class and we're done. Right?
I didn't know these.
No, you didn't change this.
Right. So there's a couple ways you can do that. Easy way is if you're in a command. Now I'm in a command and I'm stuck and I'm like lost, just hit escape. Hit escape a couple times and you'll get out of that command. Okay? Now we're going to change those document settings. Up in the top left corner, it says document settings. You click the little gray arrow next to document settings and units are in inches right there. You click the piece of paper and the pencil next to that, and this will pop up. You can drop that down to millimeters and press OK. Do that again. Document settings in the top left. Piece of paper and a pencil. Drop that down to millimeters and press OK. If you're already in millimeters, you don't have to do anything.
Oh.
But if you're not, then you got to change it then.
So let me like go out of my
I'm going to show you how to do that because you're locked in right now. Okay, now we're in millimeters. Now we can draw that rectangle. So I'm going to draw and use that second thing. It's called 2-point rectangle up in the top left there. Start from the origin, click once, and move out. Now I'm going to punch in. The height is the first one that pops up in mine. It might be different in yours. I'm going to punch in 50 for the height, and I'm going to punch tab to go to the other one. If I hit tab, it'll drop down up or move up, whatever which one. Press in 100 for the second one, and I'm going to press enter. If you did it right, it should say 50 by 100, and it should turn peach. If it turned peach, you're good. If you screwed one up, let's say you made one of the measurements wrong. You made this one 100 and this one 50. You double-click the measurement, and you can change it to whatever you want. Okay? Again, if you're in a command and it's like doing crosshairs or something, you don't see your mouse, just press escape a couple times. Press escape a couple times. Press escape a couple times. Cancel. You didn't put any numbers in. There you go. So basically, leave this. Go to this little rectangle. Start from the top. And then you can type tab. Press tab to move.
I'm making sure what I'm making.
So a lot of you guys, I don't see any numbers on there, which means you didn't punch in the 50 and the 100. You can either delete it, or you can do this. Watch, I'll show you a cheat. Let's say I don't have my numbers here. I see Liz and I see a couple other people. I don't want you guys to do and just start teaching each other. I'm here. I'm here. It's going to be okay. I'm here to save you. If you don't have your numbers and you did this, you can go up to create right up here. And the very last one is sketch dimension. Or, cheat code, press the letter D. And then you'll be able to select any edge, drag it out, press the letter D. Oh, punch in whatever you want. In this case, I want 50. Here, I got 100. You press OK. Right-click and press OK.
It's your fault that the laser has not been working today.
What did I do?
Let me tell you how. What did you do last week?
I'm not streaming or anything, so
It's
yeah.
fine, it's cool.
It's totally fine.
What did you do last week? What did you add back to the laser that had been off for a year?
The little comb.
And you know how you put it? Like this.
Okay.
It was a little bit sideways, so the laser was cut in half and couldn't.
Peanut butter lid right.
Yep.
Okay. Thanks. Okay, now that we have those dimensions, now we got all that stuff. We're in 2D. We're in sketch mode. We need to get out of sketch mode. Now we're going to press finish sketch here, or up at the top here, finish sketch. And then you are back into this world. Now if you rotate by using right click around, you'll see that it's in 2D. Okay? Yes. Create what or not? Create sketch dimension. Now you can click here. Click. It's already ready. Process.
I like to leave this.
guys are good. Yes. Looks like that. Just some lines. So here we go. Let's. What again? That's perfect. Now you got to finish sketch. So press the green check mark at the top right. And we're on that. Okay. So, press finish sketch on the top right.
I did that.
Press it once. It's okay. Fine. Where you want to be. Just rotate it. Move your right mouse and rotate it around. So now, here's what's going to look like. Okay? I have some other people who say, oh, I screwed this up and I accidentally pressed finish sketch. All your sketches are over here. You can double click sketch and you can go back into that world anytime. Okay? Let me show you again. Finish sketch. Uh-oh, I didn't mean to press finish sketch. You can go over to this sketch, double click sketch. It'll bring you back. I saw a couple of you guys have like random lines. You just messed something up or you did this or this. I don't know. Okay? You gotta, first of all, you can click on those lines and press delete at any time. And get rid of all those and then finish sketch. The other thing I really didn't tell you is if you're drawing, and we're not gonna go over that, I'm not gonna do that because it's just gonna confuse you. We got this. We're out of sketch world. We got the sketch done. The next thing we need to do, you're still in sketch, you're fine. Just press finish sketch. Press finish sketch. It's gonna be okay. Now we're gonna get to 3D world. We're going to extrude this thing. We're going to make it three-dimensional. So the second thing, yes, ma'am. You just got to, so yours looks like this, right? Like this, right? Flat on. All you got to do is just take your right click on your mouse and you can rotate it to make it look 3D. It's okay. Okay? Finish sketch, sorry. Yep. Okay. The second icon right here, up at the top. We just did the sketch, the first one. The second one is extrude. You're going to hit extrude. Now you can either pull this arrow, or what I recommend doing is punching in the distance. We know it needs to be 100. You press enter. You now have your first cube. Yay!
Wow, you're right.
Alright, now we have a cube. Okay? The next step that we're going to do is we're going to make it, that's too sharp for me. Okay? I don't like how it looks. It's going to cut my fingers or something. I don't know. I'm just going to show you how to modify now. So we got a sketch, we have a 3D model, and now we're going to do the third step, modify. Okay? So if we look at this, modify is up here. It's the second tab up here in the toolbar. The second icon in the second tab of modify is fillet. It's called fillet, but I say fillet. So you're going to say, basically click it. Yeah, fillet au fish. Click each edge. Every single edge that you see. Now, after you selected all of the edges, they should turn blue. Type in, like in the document, and I'll show you the document again real quick here. The document tells you to make it 8 millimeters. So when you're in Fusion, you type in 8. Press enter, and then you will have all of your edges curved like you see on mine.